All right, party people, let's continue. Okay. Um, Isaiah 40, 1 through 2. Comfort, comfort my people, says your God. All right. Eternal benevolence. All right. Speak tenderly to Jerusalem and proclaim to her that her forced labor has been completed. Okay? Her forced labor has been completed. All right? Her iniquity has been pardoned. Okay? I showed you in the video, I think yesterday, how this cup is being passed from us to the other nations, to the nations that took us into captivity, and to all who've been confederate in upholding this captivity. Because there are some of our own people who chose to side with the worst of the heathen. Okay? So that they can have a better life. All right? This is why it's not about skin color. It's not about nationality. All right? Overall, it's really not. Okay? Yes, it does matter what you did to the indigenous people. Okay? But however, what you're not understanding was during this whole time, there was always a portion amongst the nations that chose, with their free agency, to do the right thing. And there were a portion of our people who continuously chose to side with the worst of the heathen against their own people, okay? It is no different now, all right, at the end. It's no different now, all right? So, yes, though it does, have everything to do with the transgressions against us as a people, um, those who are going to be judged is going to be judged based upon your actions and how you have treated us. Okay? And it has to do with the righteous ones of us. Because those of us that are not the portion of eternal benevolence, those were the ones that were allocated. Those were the ones that were allotted to be done with however you please. Okay? But there was a particular portion that he told you hands off. All right? But you did the most to us. All right? You've done the absolute most unto us, the tender-hearted vessels of mercy, the selfless beings, the selfless spirits. Okay? You've done the most to make our lives a living hell. Okay? So, all of this time, we were a part of paying for the initial sins of our forefathers. Okay? So, I was born in 1976, all right? And we were at the tail end of paying for the iniquity of our forefathers. Okay? And, I reaped, affliction upon me based upon my own wickedness, okay? My own evil deeds. I was obese. I'm still dealing with obesity because of my ignorance of the diet, okay? The original diet that was given unto us in the beginning. Now, though I was taught that it's okay to eat animals as a food source, Um, I should have I should have had questions about that. And because I didn't, that showed my hardened heart condition toward the animals. I was not loving them as myself. I was not having compassion upon them. I was not having a kind heart towards them. Okay, not even towards my cats that I had in the past. Okay, I treated them as my property. Okay, because this is, all I knew. Okay, yes, I loved them, but in my own way. you know I did not love them the way that I would want to be loved if I was in their position as a pet of someone. All right, so I have changed my actions in how I deal with Tiggy. Okay, he gets a whole new me than all my other cats before him. Okay, I take his feelings, I take his needs, and all of these things into consideration. All right, and I treat him the way I would want to be treated. This is for real, for real. Okay, so the Most High knew in foreknowledge which ones of his would go through this tribulation, Jacob's trouble, and be refined. Okay? To literally be transformed by the renewing of our mind. Literally be humble, okay? Because we were humbled by the nations, okay? All my life I've been humbled because I'm in poverty. I ain't got no might in my hand, so that makes me humble. Okay? I'm humbled because of my circumstances automatically. Okay? Humbled in my circumstances automatically. So, um because we have no might, um okay, that's what I was looking for. Thank you, Father. Okay, we fine. All right. See, he was waiting for this. All right. I'm one of the remaining third that have been refined, like silver is refined. Okay, so this is why, I treat my cat the way I treat him. All right. This is why I treat my neighbor the way I treat them. Okay, this is why I refrain from doing to anyone anything I wouldn't want done to myself. Okay, well, you need to understand that yes, this world has tested us. All right, like gold is tested. All right, gold is put into blazing heat. Okay, you see this would burn. That melts the gold. Okay, this is refining the. This is like literally liquefying it. Okay, so when this process is happening, like you can use like grapes being crushed. Okay, olives being crushed. Okay, when something is crushed, it's not pleasant. It's not something pleasant. Okay, it wouldn't be pleasant to be, dunked into this pit of fire. Okay, all right. It's not pleasant what I've been going through all of my life. Okay, but the pressure thereof, the burning thereof, all of these things, all of this caused me to seek the true and living God. Okay? And in doing that, we are met with reproof. Okay? I don't know what you thought, but when you seek the true and living God, the ever presence of benevolence, uh you will be faced with reproof. Okay? And that reproof is the spirit of truth. All right? Revealing to you what your transgression is. All right? And many people can't get over that reproof. Therefore, they run away from the true and living God, the ever presence of benevolence, who wants to deliver them from their sin, who wants to protect them from the forces of malevolence, desires this. But because most people cannot accept the knowledge of their transgression, they want to deflect from it. Is anything but that, you know? They want to make excuses. And if they can't find a way to do any of these things, then they run away. Okay? They run away. And this is why I'm ostracized. This is why I'm ridiculed. This is why I'm hated and rejected and outcasted, neglected. All of these things. I'm not calling myself the true and living God, but I am controlled by the true and living God. I have yielded myself to the true and living God. And I accepted the reproof from the true and living God. I accepted his living word by way of the Spirit. I allowed it to reprove me. I accepted it and I applied it to my life, and I've been living it. Therefore, there's been a change in my actions. Okay? So that is like gold being tested, and the world tests us because they do all of this evil to us. All right? But as I'm passing the test, you know, I call upon eternal benevolence and he answers me. He's going to do this in sight of all nations. All nations are going to see who his real people are. Okay? Because he's going to make it very abundantly crystal clear that we're his people. Okay? Making bare his holy arm is showing the nation, showing the world who his people are. Deliverance for Jerusalem. Okay? Do you not realize what time we're in? You cannot keep us in this captivity indefinitely. You have reached the end of your rule, Indo-Europeans. It's time for you to take a seat. Take your place as a righteous am. Help us soar in our spiritual mission. Provide to us what's being required by this abominable system. Okay? Break forth in joy. Sing together, O ruins of Jerusalem. Why is it ruins? Because they invaded our land. Raped, robbed, plundered, tortured, murdered, pillaged, enslaved, terrorized, and oppressed us ever since they came upon our shores. And they established this abominable economic system in 1776. All right. Back then, we still were kind of self sufficient because we still owned practically, a lot of us still owned land all the way through into the 1900s. All right. But in the 1900s, y'all literally started taking our lands. All right. Yes, our lands were taken from us. Okay, in the late 1800s into the 1900s, y'all were literally systematically taking our lands from us. Okay, so you took away our livelihood, you took away our ability to sustain ourselves. Okay, so for a good 200 years or so, all right, you've been forcing us to earn money for a living, to pay those who invaded these lands and established this system. So you get all of this free labor from us. And you think that you don't owe us. You think you can continuously keep your yoke of tyranny upon us. Like we ain't nothing but your dog. And outdoors dog at that. So hell yes. We are to break forth in joy and sing together, O ruins of Jerusalem, for eternal benevolence has comforted his people. He's comforted us mentally and spiritually. I have his peace. Not the peace that the world gives, carnal security of how I'm going to pay this, how I'm going to pay that. No, I'm still facing all of them things. But I have the peace by way of the Spirit that I'm going to be taken care of. Because he has redeemed Jerusalem. How do I know that he has redeemed Jerusalem before I see it in the flesh, before I see it in this physical mortality? Because I have the spiritual clarity and understanding. Because I have the validation in the spiritual records. I have all the confirmations in historical books and the spiritual records. The Lord has bared his holy arm in sight of all the nations. All the ends of the earth will see the salvation of eternal benevolence. Depart, depart, go out from there. Touch no unclean thing. All right? Right now, your money is unclean. All right? And as long as you're using it for the purposes of selfishness and greed, it's going to remain an unclean thing. Okay? Come out from it. Purify yourselves. You who carry the vessels of the Lord. Okay? Now, you we're in your hands. Okay? We are in your hands. You need to come out from this system of upholding this system over his people. Okay? Come out of her, my people, so that you be not a partaker of her iniquity. You must separate yourself from white supremacy, and you must cleave unto the indigenous people. Okay? Touch no unclean thing. That means you must begin to take of your abundance, of your prosperity, and help relieve our suffering, coming out from it, becoming a righteous am. This is how you purify yourself. Okay? You are to relieve the suffering of the tender-hearted vessels of mercy. Okay? You are to help us soar in our spiritual mission. All right? The Lord has proclaimed his salvation and revealed his righteousness to the nations. His righteousness is being revealed right now to you nations, that you are to love one another as thyself. You are not to do to others things that you would not want done unto yourself. You are to do for others that which you will want done unto yourself. And you are most certainly to look out for the people of eternal benevolence. You are to look out for the people who your forefathers have destroyed. You are to love us. You are to remember that He is the one that loves us. All right? He's the one that chose us. He's the one that gave us the prosperous, blessed lands. Okay? He has remembered His love, which is us. All right? And faithfulness to the house of Israel. This is detrimental to all of you who keep professing my God, but refuse to be obedient to the eternal law of divine love. All right? All the ends of the earth is about to see the salvation of eternal benevolence. You're about to see the salvation of our God. Okay? Because right now, all of this time, you've been reveling in your God. Your God of money. The God of money. The God of money. Okay? Filthy lucre. All right? The God of money. You're reveling in your money. No, see, this don't come from the true and living God. This comes from Lucifer. All right? That don't come from the true and living God. This comes from Lucifer and white Jesus. Okay? Realize the God of money. In God we trust. Okay? United States of America. Okay? Lucifer. All right? Yep. Lucifer. Filthy lucre. Yeah, this is how the world is. Bowing down to this money. It's all about the money. Okay? But see, you want to claim those of us that are here to speak the eternal living word by way of the Spirit. You want to think that we after this. You want to think that we're like this to this. Oh, hell no. Hell no. I'm telling you exactly what this money is. Worship God, not money. Why is the world chasing after money, but they ain't chasing after the oracles of the true and living God? How come the world does not value the true oracles of the true and living God? See, right now He's revealing His righteousness unto you nations. The glory of eternal benevolence will be revealed, and all humanity together will see it, for the mouth of eternal benevolence has spoken it. All humanity will see His salvation. Yes, they will. All right? Now, Isaiah 49:6, he says, it is not enough for you to be my servant to raise up the tribes of Jacob, all right, and to restore the protected ones of Israel. I will also make you a light for the nations, to bring my salvation to the ends of the earth. This pertains to anyone who wants to be obedient to eternal benevolence. Okay? We were raised up first to receive the reproof. All right? Telling you what you need to do. Okay? The protected ones of Israel is the tender-hearted vessels of mercy. When He told you, do not touch my anointed ones. Okay? Do my prophets no harm. All right? Many times. He didn't told you to be careful how you treat one another. Okay? People that you never thought of could be the elect of eternal benevolence, because he uses the people who are despised in the time in which they're born. Clearly, I am despised in this world. And yet you refuse to look at the fruit of the Spirit upon me. You refuse to look. Oh, bruh. It's a damn shame. It's a goddamn shame, bro. Like, wow. It's a damn shame. Because you're bringing destruction upon yourselves. And you don't even realize it. Okay? Where the hell was I at? I'm over here. Yeah, I'm over here. Alright. So, we are the protected ones of Israel. Okay? The tender-hearted vessels of mercy. He is near unto those with a broken heart and a contrite spirit. Okay, so just because you refuse to humble yourself, quit assuming that I did not humble myself to the leading of the Holy Spirit. Okay, your assumption gonna get you in a hell of a lot of trouble. Okay, so clearly he's making me a light for the nations. All right, and all the individual people out of the nations, including my own people who can receive the light, they will also help to bring about his salvation to the ends of the earth. Okay? Because once you catch the light and you are applying it to your life and living it, then you're going to receive your instruction via eternal benevolence. You will begin to be able to hear your maker, the maker of your spirit, the giver of the breath of life, the maker of infinite consciousness. All right, you will be able to hear. Your conscience would no longer be seared. Okay? Therefore, you will be able to follow the leading of the Holy Spirit into your purpose. Okay? And you will be bringing about his salvation to the ends of the earth. Okay? But it starts with humility, people. All right? And just little old me by myself and my humility. I mean, what can I do? All right? Except for operate in my spiritual mission. Operate in what's been inscribed upon my spirit. That's what I've been doing. Okay? I can't do any more than this, people. All right? You quit making it like I'm in these circumstances because I refuse to go get a job and earn money for a living. Okay, that shit's out the window. Okay, because that's just a deflection away from the colonizers who invaded these lands. Okay, and that's what you don't want to deal with. But you're going to have to deal with that. Okay? Now, my righteousness draws near. My salvation is on the way, and my arms will bring justice to the nations. Now, the nations that have not been showing any kind of justice unto us, the justice that's coming for them is destruction. Okay? Because they are in one accord with all their bloodline, all their forefathers, and them that have been sowing destruction against us. Okay? The islands will look for me and wait and hope for my arm. That's us. Okay? Yes. That your ways may be known on earth, your salvation among all nations that's coming, okay? His ways are being made known right now through little old me. Okay, I ain't got no might in my hands. I'm considered a nobody. But I know his real statutes and ordinances. I know his oracles. I know exactly what he requires in order to have him have in order for you to have him deliver you, in order to have his divine protection and these things, to claim you as his and say no, hands off, Mavelins, you can't have this one. Okay? Hands off, adversary. Shut the adversary's mouth. All right? Shut the accuser's mouth. All right? You can't accuse this one, for this one is mine. Okay? See, if you want that, then you're going to have to be obedient. Okay? But if you don't want that, all right, and you just want to psych yourself out to believe that you're going to be saved anyway, regardless of how you live, regardless of your actions, regardless of how you treat his tender-hearted vessels of mercy, all right, you in for a very rude awakening. Okay? On that day, the root of Jesse will stand as a banner for the people. The nations will seek him, and his place of rest will be glorious. All right, I'm gonna come back to that. I'm gonna keep that up. All right, cause bruh, I'm running out of time here. Okay, I gotta be able to upload these videos, and the office closes at 5. Okay, and so I'm gonna go because I still got 31. I'm only on 31 minutes, so I got time, but bruh. Okay. So anyway, understand, people. Speak tenderly to Jerusalem and proclaim to her that her forced labor has been completed. Her iniquity has been pardoned, okay? Our iniquity has been pardoned, all right? I know this for a fact because he awakened us within the land of our captivity, brought back to remembrance of who we are. All right, the spirit of truth came to us, the reproof and all of that. I accepted it, applied it to my life, and been living it. Therefore, I have been given the spiritual clarity and the understanding. Therefore, I know that I have been proving what is his good and perfect will. All right. And I'm instructed to show you his good and perfect will. Okay. And it also signals that time's up for the nations who have been ruling on top of us. All right, all of this is connected. All right, her iniquity has been pardoned. Okay, yes, we have been refined. Okay, now he is about to answer and let all nations know that we are his people. All right, I have been telling you that he is my power. All right, that I don't trust in a God of money. Money is not my God. I have used my free agency to choose my God. Okay, I keep telling you that. All right, for she have received from the hands of our own wickedness and the wickedness of our forefathers double for all of her sins. Yes, we had. Okay, we went through this captivity for a long ass time, but understand that our God is about to comfort Zion and will look with compassion on all of her ruins. All right, he will make her wilderness like Eden. Okay, we have been desolate for a very long time. Okay, without substance for a very long time. And here very soon, our wilderness is going to be made like Eden. All right, and our desert is going to be like the garden of eternal benevolence. Joy and gladness will be found in us. Thanksgiving and melodious song. Okay, I sing a lot, okay? Even more so now. My computer is lagging the heck like crazy. Alright, that's crazy. It's really annoying. Hella freaking annoying, bro. I'm always having to put up with this. Alright, and so, pretty soon I'm gonna be able to rejoice in what the Father has given me to do. Alright, I wouldn't have to be in physical misery while I'm doing it. Alright? So, because of our wickedness, we hid ourselves from eternal benevolence. All right, wickedness cannot be in the presence of benevolence. Okay, but with everlasting kindness, He's gonna have compassion upon us, saith our God. Okay, our Redeemer. All right, you foreigners are to rebuild us. Okay, you foreigners are supposed to be putting salve on our wounds. Okay, you are to be showing compassion unto us. You are to be showing love unto us. You are to be having mercy upon us. You are to be repairing us. This is the individual people out of all nations who have received your prosperity via selfish ambition, okay, at our expense. All right, this is how you atone. All right, yes, your kings will serve us. Okay, although we have been struck by the anger of our sins, all right, we have been purified, okay? And now in favor, we are gonna be shown mercy, okay? We are gonna be established as the holy people, the redeemed of eternal benevolence, okay? And we will be called out, okay? We will be sought out. All right, this is when the people are going to be coming to listen to us. All right, because all of this time I've had to deal with people literally, ignoring what I've been given to speak by way of the Spirit. All right, literally trying to diminish what I've been instructed to speak by way of the Spirit. Over and over and over, telling me to hold my words, hold your words. But sometimes it's better to remain silent. No, sir, no, ma'am. Now is the time to speak the eternal living word by the way of the Spirit. Time's up for deception. Time's up for lies. Time's up for manipulation and deceit. You were never given dead bodies to eat as a food source. Okay? It is not okay to treat people like a commodity. It is not okay to treat animals like they are a commodity. It is not okay to worship money while you debase humanity. We're going to be called sought out, a city not forsaken. Then the maidens will rejoice with dancing, young men and old as well. You know why and how the old men is going to be able to rejoice with dancing? Because we're going to be able to heal ourselves. They took away everything from us. We had healing fountains. There's healing places within our lands. They're withholding these things from us. There's places that if you go in the water, it can heal arthritis. It can heal all kinds of ailments. It can reverse aging. Slow down the aging process because of the minerals that's in the waters. They've been withholding these things from us, keeping it all for themselves. Our mourning is going to be turned into joy. We're going to be giving comfort and joy for our sorrow. I've lived a sorrowful life. I've lived an uncomfortable, sorrowful life. And to this day, you've shown no compassion, no kindness, no mercy, no empathy. refusing to show love unto me. Rejoice greatly, O daughter of Zion. Shout in triumph, O daughter of Jerusalem. See, your king comes to you, righteous and victorious, humble and riding on a donkey, on a coat, on a foal of a donkey. Do you know what this means? It means we're in poverty. Okay? He ain't coming with the freaking people that got all the money, that will be dressed in royal robes and sitting on a freaking a stallion. Okay? No. We are impoverished. We are the scum of the earth. This is how we're looked at. Okay? The less desired. And I will cut off the chariot from Ephraim, and the horse from Jerusalem, and the bow of war will be broken. Then he will proclaim peace to the nations. His dominion will extend from sea to sea, and from the Euphrates to the ends of the earth. Understand, this dominion is going to be established over here, in the land of the dove, North America, Atlantis. Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and awesome day of eternal benevolence. And he will turn the hearts of the fathers to their children, and the hearts of the children to their fathers. Otherwise, I will come and strike the land with a curse. Now, the land is going to be struck with a curse. And not this land, not all of this land, okay? Only the land of those who have been selfish and greedy. Okay, and they're going to be taken to a desolate land. All right, understanding this is not coming from eternal benevolence. All right, that's going to be the forces of malevolence, and eternal benevolence is not going to deliver them. It is not a blend. You got to understand, the scriptures were blended. The scriptures blended good and evil. Okay, I am here to separate it. Okay. Preach the acceptable year of the Lord. I am not to be silent. Okay? For he said, I have heard thee in a time accepted, and in the day of salvation have I succored thee. Behold, now is the accepted time. Behold, now is the day of salvation. All right? We are in this time frame, people. So keep ignoring me all the hell you want. All right? You're doing it to your own detriment. All right? They call it the day of the Lord's vengeance, but it's the vengeance of people's own wickedness. All right? And the year of recompenses for the controversy of Zion. The controversy of Zion. What's the controversy? That's what you refuse to deal with. Okay? You refuse to deal with who we are as a people. You want us to believe that we're nothing but African Americans. We're nothing but sub-Saharan Africans that you done snatched from the jungles and you civilized. Okay? Like we didn't have no history before you supposedly civilized us with your superior society, your great civilization that you think you brought to all humanity and all creation. You destroyed us in order to bring about your Eurocentric reality. Okay? And now your time is up. The black horse is riding. You were the pale horse that brought death and destruction over here to the fourth part of the earth. Okay? You were the pale horse. Christopher Columbus, pale horse that brought death and destruction over here to these lands. When Christopher Columbus came over here, he came with a Hebrew interpreter. Yes, he did. Because he knew that he was encountering the Hebrews upon these lands. And I looked and beheld a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him. And power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth. The fourth part of the earth. To do what? To kill with the sword. What did the Spaniards do? Oh, they played games at how sharp their swords were and how they sliced through our bodies. To kill with hunger. Because, yes, we were in transgression to our God, eating flesh and blood. So they killed all of our buffalo. All right? They literally massacred our buffalo. Yes, they did. They starved us out, and they forced us to eat our own children. They killed with death and with the beast of the earth. Many times I brought out the historical record. American Holocaust and Dogs of a Conquest. All right, of the island of Hispaniola. All right, and that was Haiti. Okay, Solomon's Islands was over here. All right, Rome became wealthy off of what they did unto us, what they stole from us. That's how the European nations got on top. It all came with a pale horse. And now that we've been awakened by way of the Spirit and we're being obedient, we are the black horse of the apocalypse. And the black horse brings balance. And that's exactly what time we're in. All right? So say to them that are of a fearful heart, be strong, fear not. Behold, your God will come with the avenging angels. Okay? Yes, he's coming with the avenging angels. All right? Of the terrestrial kingdom. All right? Our God is from the celestial kingdom, but he's coming with the vengeance, the avenging angels. Okay, the avenging angels. All right, and you will call them aliens. All right, you will refer to them as UFOs and all of these things in the sky. You're gonna be wondering what the hell is happening. There ain't gonna be no might in your hands to fight against these angelic beings. Okay. Yes. Even God with a recompense. And he's going to be delivering us while the avenging angels are going to be taking hold of the wicked. Okay? See, that's when the terrestrial kingdom is going to be released. All right? That comes with the black horse as well. All right? Famine and all of these things. All right? Eternal benevolence doesn't desire for anyone to suffer. Okay? But free agency was given. And you've been forcing his tender hearted vessels of mercy to suffer all of this time. Therefore, he is not going to deliver you from your suffering. All right? That's what you've been sowing, so that is what you're going to be reaping. That's all of you who refuse to overturn your transgressions. Uh, so the Father is looking at the ways of his tender-hearted vessels of mercy, and he's going to heal us in every way. And he's leading us also. He's going to restore our comforts unto us and to all mourners, okay? He's going to restore all everything, okay? Because he's already restored us unto him. But he's going to restore us, everything, all of our physical comforts, everything that we once had, okay? We're not going to want or need for anything ever again. Rejoice ye with Jerusalem, and be glad with her, all ye that love her. If you don't have any love for us, this ain't speaking to you, okay? See, all of you evangelical Christians, you think you can continue to ignore us, all right? But this salvation is coming for us. Don't you realize that? You've been beguiled by the adversary in all your prosperity. You made your heaven upon this earth at our expense. Therefore, our God ain't coming to deliver you. No, our God is coming to deliver the oppressed. Okay? Those of us that's been oppressed by you. Those of us that have not been shown mercy by you. Those of us that have not been shown compassion by you. Okay? But all of you that take your place as a righteous am and begin to help us, you will begin to rejoice with us. You will begin to be glad with us because you love us. All right? Rejoice for joy with her, all ye that mourn for her. You should be mourning for our circumstances. It should break your heart, all the hell that we've been through. Okay? So if you have the type of heart condition where you're calling me hateful, you're calling me racist, you are wicked. Okay? Because the correct heart condition that you should have concerning so-called African Americans should be mourning, you know? Mourning. All right? Mourning our circumstances and doing everything you can to help us. Especially those of us that's been refined in this fire. Those of us that he's going to let the whole damn world know who his people are. Okay? You want to be on our side. Okay? This judgment is coming upon you, nations. You need to understand this, okay? I'm tired of suffering, people, but I continuously do it while I give you this living word by the way of the Spirit. That's proven my actions for eternal benevolence, not for the God of money. Because I would be able to have my smokes. I'll be able to have my good herb if I merely bow down to this system and earn money for a living, supplying it for myself. Judgment on the nations. Come near, O nations, to listen. Pay attention, O peoples. Let the earth hear, and all that fills it, the earth, and all that springs from it. You have grieved eternal benevolence, all you nations. All of your armies have been grieving eternal benevolence. Okay? You are devoting yourselves to destruction. He is going to allow you to be handed over to the forces of malevolence. Okay? Your slain will be left unburied. Okay? Because he's going to allow the beast of the earth to get their vengeance on you. Okay? They're a part of the terrestrial kingdom. Okay? So all the beasts of the earth, all right, he's going to allow them to devour you. All right? So yeah, no burying you when you're slain upon the earth. No, the beasts and the birds is going to take care, is going to dispose of your dead bodies. Okay? And the stench of their corpses will rise. That's going to be horrible for us, you know. I don't like the smell of death and blood. But it's going to be the death and blood of the wicked, not the righteous. Okay? All the stars of heaven will be dissolved. All right? You know what that means? That's the freaking angelic host. All right? Coming to the earth. All right? The skies will roll up like a scroll. All right? You're going to see that everything is not as you thought it was. Okay? Like you were in a bubble. Okay? You're in a whole false ass reality. All right? You think this all there is and there ain't nothing outside of earning money for a living. There ain't nothing outside of humanity and the animals, okay? You know, the fish in the sea. Hell, you don't even know what's all in the freaking seas and oceans. You don't even know what's all upon the earth. No, you don't know. You don't know all that is within the earth. You don't know what's all above the earth. You all been speculating this whole damn time. But you about to be shown. The skies will be rolled up like a scroll, and all their stars will fall, like withered leaves from the vine, like foliage from a fig tree. Okay? Judgment on Edom. Okay? You don't understand. Our big brother, Esau, was first. He came out first. Okay? Jacob came after him. All right? Holding on to his heel. All right? When my sword was drunk, it filled. When my sword has drunk its fill in the heavens, then it will come down upon Edom. Okay? So it seems like the nations are going to get the judgment before Edom. All right? Upon the people that he's going to allocate to destruction. All right? Yeah. It's those of you that's been sowing destruction. All right? It's not the sword of the Lord, but you know, he's gonna be allowing these malevolent forces. All right, the terrestrial kingdom. All right, the angels of torture. Okay, the avenging angels. Okay, that's what's gonna be bathed in blood. That's what's gonna be bathed in the blood of the wicked. Okay, gonna be dripping with fat. All right. With the blood of the lambs and goats and with the fats of kidney rams and all of them. That's not the actual animals. That's the people that's compared to animals, okay? For uh you know, I don't like the way that they blend this evil in, because none of this is of eternal benevolence. Okay, he's wanted to spare you from all of this. All right, his tender-hearted vessels of mercy been trying to spare you from all of this. All right, so it ain't his sacrifice. No, understand, it's the adversary that comes to kill, steal, and destroy. Okay. So, this is his sacrifice. Alright? The great slaughter in the land of Edom. Okay? Now, see, that's that land over there, all right, in the so called Middle East. And it's also some of the lands over here, okay, where Edom is dwelling, okay? Um, it's them red lands, okay? The lands that are really, really red, like Arizona, all right? What? Freaking Sin City, Las Vegas, okay? Hollywood, okay? The certain places, all right, is going to have a judgment upon it, okay? And the wild oxen will fall with them, the young bulls with the strong ones. Their land will be drenched with blood, and their soil will be soaked with fat. Okay? Understand. Yes, this is dealing with all types of wicked mortal men, all right, upon the earth. For, hold on. Yes, for eternal benevolence has, selected the day of this vengeance, okay? The year of recompense for the cause of Zion. Again, all you evangelical Christians that have been vainly taking the true and living God in your mouth, all right, claiming to love and serve Him in your temples made with human hands, you don't realize that salvation is coming for the cause of Zion. And we, so called African Americans, so called black people, are Zion. They showed you this in the Matrix. Okay? Zion. They were showing you all the so called black people. Okay? But is the remnant within the remnant that are being obedient is for our cause. The ones of us without blood guilt. Okay? Edom's streams will be turned to tar. Alright? And her soil to sulfur. Her land will become a blazing pitch. That's over there in the Middle East, okay? It will not be quenched day or night. Its smoke will ascend forever. From generation to generation, it will lie desolate. No one will ever again pass through it. The desert isle, the desert owl and screech owl will possess it, and the great owl and raven will dwell in it. Okay? That could be representing people, okay? That could be representing people. Usually, when the scripture is using animals, it's representing people, okay? The different types of people. All right, you got to understand the scripture is not literal. Most of the time it's not literal. Okay? You got to look deeper than the literal interpretation. All right? Now, they be blending good and evil, okay? There will be vengeance stretched out over Edom, a measuring line of chaos and a plumb line of destruction. All right, this is the judgment that's upon Edom. Okay, but it's not eternal benevolence that's bringing destruction. Satan comes to kill, steal, and destroy. Please keep him in his place and quit trying to put destruction of humanity and or creation upon eternal benevolence. It does not belong upon benevolence. It belongs with malevolence. Okay? No nobles will be left to proclaim a king, and all her princes will come to nothing. Now, there are no nobles or kings or princes in these lands. So, this has to deal with a land that has nobles and princes and all these things. And they have that in the so called Middle East. Okay? They have this in other lands, just not these lands. Okay? Her towers will be overgrown with thorns, her fortresses with thistles and briars. She will become a haunt for jackals and an abode for ostriches. Okay? Now, These ostriches, they got long necks, bro. So this is probably the ultra wealthy. This is probably them billionaires, okay? Yeah, because they're gonna be sent to a desolate land, okay? They're gonna be sent to a land that don't grow anything, okay? It's gonna be thorns and thistles and all of these things. It ain't gonna be no water. It ain't gonna be anything of substance, okay? The desert creatures will meet with hyenas, and one wild goat will call to another. This is the wicked that's dwelling here, okay? Um, there the night creature will settle and find her place of repose. There the owl will make her nest. She will lay and hatch her eggs and gather her brood under her shadow. Even there the birds of prey will gather, each with its mate. Okay? Like I said, a lot of this is allegory of certain types of people that's going to be in these lands. Okay? Search and read the scroll of um, of the true and living God. Not one of these will go missing. Not one will lack her mate, because this has been ordained that you shall reap what you sow. All right, that's righteous judgment, which does come from eternal benevolence. But a choice was given. All right, so you can't claim that eternal benevolence is evil, because he's allowing you to reap the evil that you have chosen to sow with your free agency. Okay, and he will gather them by his spirit. He has allotted their portion. All right. His hand has distributed it by measure. They will possess it forever. They will dwell in it from generation to generation. All right. Our eternity is made up of our actions in mortality. Okay. Now, Babylon is fallen. Okay. Now, America is not Babylon. America is Egypt. Okay, is an Egyptian captivity. All right. Yes, it has Babylonian tendencies here and there. Okay, because it is joined with Babylon, which is your Roman Catholic Church. Okay, Rome is Babylon. Okay, that's Babylon. Okay, yes. Uh, this is the burden against the desert by the sea. Like whirlwind sweeping through the Negev, an invader comes from the desert, okay? Comes from the desert, from a land of terror, okay? A dire vision is declared to me. The traitor still betrays, and the destroyer still destroys, all right? They still been destroying us, okay? Go up, O Elam, lay siege, O Media. I will put an end to all her groaning. Therefore my body is filled with anguish. Pain grips me like the pain of a woman in labor. I am bewildered to hear. I am dismayed to see. My heart falters. Fear makes me tremble. The twilight I desired has turned to horror. The twilight I desired has turned to horror. They prepare a table. They lay out a carpet. They eat. They drink. Rise up, O princes, oil the shields, for this is what the Lord says to me. Go post a lookout and have him report what he sees. When he sees chariots with teams of horsemen, riders on donkeys, riders on camels, he must be alert, fully alert. Then the lookout shouted, day after day, my lord, I stand on the watchtower night after night. I stay my post. Look, here come the riders, horsemen in pairs. All right, all of this long suffering while I'm doing this work by way of the Spirit. All right, constantly long suffering the hateful hearts of the people, constantly suffering the scorning, the ridiculing, and all of these things. All right, one answered and said, fallen, fallen is Babylon. All the images of her God lay shattered on the ground. Your white Jesus, your image of the beast, which is money, all of it is going to be broken into pieces and be useless. All right. O my people crushed on the threshing floor, I tell you what I have heard from the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel. We have been crushed, okay? We have been trampled. We have been trampled all of this time, forced to lay our bodies as the ground and as the street for all you nations to trample upon us. Okay? The burden against Edom. This is the burden against Duma. One calls to me from Seir, watchmen, that is left. What is left of the night? Watchmen, what is left of the night? Watchmen, what is left of the night? The watchman replies, morning has come, but also the night. If you would inquire, then inquire and come back again. All right? We're telling you that our redemption is coming, and along with our redemption comes the recompense of the wicked. Okay? Knock and the door shall be opened. Okay? The burden against Arabia. This is the burden against Arabia. In the thickets of Arabia you must lodge, O caverns of Dedanites. Bring water for the thirsty. All right, he's telling you, you got time to try to do good. All right, overturn your transgressions. All right, O dwellers of Tema, meet the refugees with food. Okay, for they flee from the sword that is drawn, from the bow that is bent, and from the stress of battle. For this is what eternal benevolence says to me. Within 1 year, as a hired worker would count it, all the glory of Kedar will be gone. Okay? Understand, you better seek the eternal benevolence, the ever presence of benevolence while he may be found. Okay? You better start atoning for your transgressions while there's still time. Okay? The remaining archers, the warriors of Kedar, will be few. All right, for the Lord, the God of Israel, has spoken. Everybody is going to reap what the hell they've been sowing. Okay, that's righteousness. All right, Babylon is fallen. All right. After this, I saw another angel descending from heaven with great authority, and the earth was illuminated by his glory. And he cried out in a mighty voice, fallen, fallen is Babylon the Great. She has become a lair for demons and a haunt for every unclean spirit, every unclean bird, and every detestable beast. All right, this is Rome. Okay, that's Rome over there. All right, with your Pope. Okay, your Vatican. All right, all the nations have drunk the wine of the passion of her immorality. Okay, this is your Roman Catholic Church, the false prophet. You have vomited it up, your wisdom, and you have taken on the indoctrination of the Vatican. All right, the Vatican has that's what influenced your medical industry, your educational institutions, pretty much everything in your world, okay, is ran by the Vatican, okay, the false prophet with the financer, Britain, okay? Yes. All right. And also the beast, which is enforcing everything by way of the sword, literally, which is your United States government. Okay? And the beast is also Egypt. Like I told you, is in Egyptian captivity. That's why it's on the back of your money. The first Egyptian captivity and the final Egyptian captivity. Okay? All nations have drunk the passion of her immorality. All right? The kings of the earth were immoral with her. Yes, they made a covenant with the Roman Catholic Church. Okay, understand, it was the Pope that sent forth the papal bull, okay, to invade non-Christian lands. Bro, let me prove this right quick. Not the papal bull part, but this part right here that's upon my spirit. All right. Because you need to understand. All right. This great abominable church. This is Babylon. Okay. All right. I saw the devil, that he was the founder of it. And I also saw gold and silver and silks and scarlets and fine twined linen and all manner of precious clothing. And I saw many harlots, okay? Many harlots, okay? And the angel spake unto me, saying, Behold, the gold and the silver and the silks and the scarlets and the fine twined linen and the precious clothing and the harlots are the desires of this great and abominable church. This is your Vatican. This is the riches of the Vatican. Okay? This devil. Okay? That's the desires of this great and abominable church. And understand, verse 9, and also for the praise of the world do they destroy the true holy people of the ever presence of benevolence. Okay? They destroyed us and brought us down in captivity with their papal bull. Okay, done that verse is still different. Okay, 1452. To enslave us perpetually. This is what your Vatican, your Roman Catholic Church did. Okay? So the colonization was an edict that was sent forth by the Pope to enslave non-Christian people in not only Africa, but also the New World and all the islands. Okay? So this is what they did. So they took all of our resources, took our lands, all of our resources by force, and gave it over to the Vatican, to the King and Queen of Britain. Okay? To the King and Queen of Spain. All right? And those who literally have this confederacy. All right? To keep us in this captivity. So this, you are drinking the passion of her immorality. All nations have drunk the wine of the passion of her immorality. The kings of the earth were immoral with her. The merchants of the earth have grown wealthy from the extravagance of her luxury. She stole it all from us, impoverishing us, starved us to death. Okay? They literally watched a portion of us starve to death. And for the praise of the world, they destroyed us. And to this day, you praise the Pope. You praise your pastor, which is ordained by your Pope. You praise your government officials, which is ordained by your Pope. You praise your medical industry, which is ordained and established by the Vatican, the Pope. Okay? Every single thing is being ordained and established by the Pope. Okay? Then I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people. This is why we are to speak this word to you, giving you the spiritual clarity and understanding. Okay? You need to understand you've been living during the times of the Gentiles. All right? And we were born into the revived Roman Empire that was established over here in the fourth part of the earth in the United States of America, known as the Beast. Okay? The Beast. The Beast. And the image of the beast, which is the United States currency. Okay? You may want to stop this selfishness and greed. Detach yourself from this. That's how you come out of her, my people. Okay? So that you will not share in her sins or contract any of her plagues. For her sins are piled up to heaven, and eternal benevolence has remembered her iniquities. Okay? Because he rose us up and reminded us of who we are. Simultaneously, he's remembering all the iniquities of the nations who have just been piling all of it up of what they did unto us. Okay? Give back to her as she has done to others. Pay her back double for what she has done. Mix her a double portion in her own cup. As much as she has glorified herself and lived in luxury. Lived in luxury. These devils have been living and reveling in luxury. These are billionaires of Iran. They've been living in luxury. All right? These been living in luxury. Okay? Living in luxury. Living in luxury. Living in luxury upon the Holy Land, while they left nothing to the holy people. They literally just set their asses on us in our ancestral land, leaving us desolate with absolutely nothing. And the whole world has been complacent with this. The whole world has been complacent with this. The whole world has been complacent with this. So give her the same measure of torment and grief. In her heart, she says, I said a queen. This is the error of you Indo-Europeans. Like, you seriously think this is your land? You think that can't nothing touch you? You think you got the greatest military, and you just gonna be protected by your military. You gonna be saved and protected by your money and all your materialistic things, your underground bunkers, all right, your cubbyhole hideouts, and whatever the hell you think you got to protect yourself, all right, because of your money and your white supremacy that you think you have. You think you're untouchable. You think that you don't have to pay for the sins of your forefathers. You think that you don't have to own up to your own actions and how you've treated so-called black people upon these lands. Just an air of arrogance. This dude, so arrogant, he literally made a website, got a billboard, make America white again. Rick Tyler for Congress. Make America white again.info. You got that mentality from the worst of the heathen who think they sit as a queen. They think they're not no widow and they ain't gonna see no grief. The Pope recently died, and now they got a new one that got all kinds of sexual allegations, pardoning, sexual offenders and all of these things, okay? Pardoning pedophiles and all of these things, okay? What is a pontifical secret? Don't you know everything done in the dark shall be brought to the light? You glorifying and following the worst of the heathen. Therefore, her plagues will come in one day, death and grief and famine, and she will be consumed by fire. Yes, these judgments are mighty, all right, because of the great infinite freedom of choice that was given, okay, and the time frame that was given. They had so long to just rain terror upon his covenant people. So, yes, this judgment is going to be terrible upon the wicked. Okay? Lament over Babylon. Then the kings of the earth who committed sexual immorality and lived in luxury with her will weep. Okay, this sexual immorality is the child pedophilia. Okay, that's been going on and swept under the rug. Ain't none of these freaking priests spent a day in prison. All right, they just paid the freaking victims off with money. Like that's supposed to make it all better. They literally just been doing whatever the hell they please while living in luxury. All right? They will all weep and wail at the sight of the smoke rising from the fire that consumes her. This is Rome that's going to be on fire. All right? In fear of her torment, they will stand at a distance and cry out, woe, woe to the great city, that mighty city of Babylon, for in a single hour your judgment has come. All right? It ain't America that's going to go up in flames. No, it's Rome. And it's freaking that Middle East over there. Okay? That's what's going to be engulfed in flames and tar pits and the desolate and all of these things. Okay? Thorns and thistles. Okay? Desolate land. Okay? Rome's going to be on fire. Okay? This over here is the blessed promised land. And it's going to become Eden again. Why in the hell would he destroy the land that he promised unto his people? You all got to reap all the benefits of this land as you came to this land to live your American dream on this land. So he ain't going to destroy this land. Though there may be some places upon this land that's going to be chastised and dealt with. Okay? Ain't nobody saying that there ain't going to be some judgment on some certain places within this land. Okay? But for the most part, this is the promised blessed land. Okay? And it's going to be returned to the promised blessed people. And the merchants of the earth will weep and mourn over her, because there is no one left to buy their cargo of gold, silver, precious stones, and pearls. All right? America ain't selling these things. We're not selling gold and silver and precious stones and pearls. That would probably most likely be Rome that's selling these things, because they stole it all from us. Okay? Of fine linen and purple, silk and scarlet, and all kinds of citron wood, and every article of ivory and precious wood, bronze, iron, and marble, of cinnamon, spice, incense, myrrh, and frankincense, of wine, olive oil, fine flour, and wheat, of cattle, sheep, horses, and carriages, of bodies and souls of slaves. Okay? All of this came from Rome. After they done did all of their evil unto us. The fruit of your soul's desire has departed from you. You desired all the resources of the earth to yourselves, and it's going to depart from you. All your luxury and splendor is about to vanish, and you will never see it again. The merchants who sold these things and gained their wealth from her will stand at a distance in fear of her torment. They will weep and mourn, saying, Woe, woe to the great city, clothed in fine linen, and purple and scarlet. America is not clothed in purple and scarlet. That be the Rome, Vatican, all right? Your freaking Pope. Okay? They're the ones clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet. Okay? Ordained with gold and precious stones and pearls. Yes, sir. Okay? They're the ones that are ordained like that. Or adorned like that. Okay? They're the ones that's adorned like that. Not, okay, you don't see your president adorned in all of this? Nah. This is your Pope. Okay? Adorned with gold and precious stones and pearls. For in a single hour, such fabulous wealth is going to be destroyed. Because guess what? They stole it all from us. Okay? And I got many videos breaking it down how they stole it all from us in all kinds of historical writings. Okay? All kinds of historical books. And I'm not going into it right now, people. I'm literally trying to wrap this up. Okay? Every shipmaster, passenger, and sailor, and all who make their living from the sea, will stand at a distance and cry out at the sight of the smoke rising from the fire that consumes her. What city was ever like this great city? They gonna ask themselves, because they are in ignorance, not knowing that America was way greater than Rome is today. But today, everybody, they're all looking. They're all looking to the Pope. They're all looking to, they were all looking to the Queen, okay, of England. All right? They're all looking to the wealthy of the earth, okay? They're all looking to the gods of the earth. All right? And that's over in Rome. That's over there. All right? We're only known as great by the military might. All right? They struck fear in the heart of all nations when they dropped that bomb on Nagasaki. Okay? Yes, when they dropped that atomic bomb. That struck fear in the hearts of all the nations, so they became known as, hey, don't mess with America, because America would drop, they would drop they would drop that on you. Okay, I'm trying to refrain from the profanity, people, but damn, America is empowered, people. All right, they're empowered by the Vatican. That's why every single one of your presidents have to go and be ordained by the Pope. Okay? And they all have to go visit the Queen that was here of England and now the King. Okay? They all have to go pay homage to the Saudi princes and all of these things. All right? Because they're the ones that have all the riches. They stole everything from us. Okay? And America is literally just keeping us as prisoners of war. All right? So, this is talking about the Vatican, Rome. All right? Then they will throw dust on their heads as they weep and mourn and cry out. All right? That's a lot of your Saudi Arabians, okay? All your people over there in the three parts, that's what they do, is cast dust upon their heads, okay? They gonna be casting dust upon their heads. That's what they do. That's their custom. We don't do that over here in the Americas, all right? Woe, woe to the great city where all who had ships on the sea were enriched by her wealth, okay? Now this is talking about the wealth of Rome, but it was because Rome had stole everything from us. Okay? But they began allocating it out. Okay? They became the gods of the earth that began delegating all the wealth. All right? This is how the nations fornicated with the harlot. Okay? With Babylon. All right? They were enriched by her wealth. For in a single hour she is gonna be destroyed. Rejoice over her, O heaven, and you saints and apostles and prophets, because the Most High has pronounced for you his judgment against her. All right, now we're not rejoicing because they're going to be suffering, but we're going to be rejoicing that their power over us is going to be broken. Okay? Their physical power over us is going to be broken. See, already their spiritual power and their mental power has been broken. And we've gone forth in great boldness proclaiming this, all right, in sight of all nations, all right? Even though I'm a little channel, that don't matter. Okay? That don't matter that I'm a small channel. I'm still doing what I'm instructed to do by way of the Spirit. All right? I'm telling you what's going to happen. All right? And when you see it, don't say I didn't tell you so. All right? The doom of Babylon. Then a mighty angel picked up a stone the size of a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, with such violence the great city of Babylon will be cast down, never to be seen again. That's going to be the destruction of the Vatican. All right? Rome, your Pope, okay? Your King and Queen of England. All right? This whole satanic ass system. All right? and the sound of harpists and musicians, of flute players and trumpeters, will never ring out in you again, nor will any craftsman of any trade be found in you again, nor the sound of a millstone be heard in you again. All right, understand, all of that's going to be over here in the fourth part of the earth. Okay? All that's going to be over here. We're going to be breaking out in much rejoicing, much music, much dancing. Okay? There's going to be much craftsmanship, much trade. Okay? Yes. All right? The light of a lamp will never shine in them again. Okay? Over there in the three parts. Okay? There's such a judgment coming in them three parts. All right? That's not going to be any kind of land you want to be in. All my people that want to go, they want so bad to be Africans. Well, go take your ass over there to Africa then. Okay? Go over there. All right? Since you seriously think that's your land. All right? And this is not to say that we ain't got no land over there, because we do. All right? However, this is the land that was promised unto us. This is the blessed, promised land. Okay? It's not over there in Africa. The blessed, promised land is not in Africa. Yes, we have some lands over there, but it's not the blessed, promised land. It's not the land, the home of the dove. That's this land over here. This land is where it's going to be established, Atlantis. All right? This is where the righteousness is going to go forth from. This is where Zion is going to be residing. Okay? This is where our borders are going to be open. Okay? Because we're not going to be having no man-made weapons. We're not going to need it. Okay? We're not going to need man-made mortal weapons. We're not going to have no physical mortal army. We're not going to need it. Okay? For the angelic host is going to be guarding our lands. Okay? Yes. The angelic host is going to be guarding our lands. All right? And all nations is going to be able to come, or all those that, don't have malevolent intentions. Okay? All nations that are desiring to serve the true and living God, understand, they're going to be gathered from all nations, bringing gifts with them. Yes, they're going to be bringing all their riches unto us. Okay? And they will be allowed in these lands. All right? Um, so yeah, the three parts is not gonna be where you wanna be. All right, the voices of the bride and the bridegroom will never call out in you again, for the merchants were the great ones of the earth, because all the nations were deceived by your sorcery. Okay, it was the false prophet. That is the Vatican. That is your Pope. That's your Roman Catholic Church. Okay? That's the harlot. All nations were deceived by the harlot, by the sorcery of the false prophet. Okay? And there were found in her the blood of the prophets and the holy ones and of all who had been slain on the earth. Okay, they're the ones that performed the Inquisition and all of these things. All right, so if you don't want to come out of her, then understand you're going to partake in her judgment. Okay, now check my time. All right, I'm at 140. Okay, now second Ezra 15. Uh, am I gonna continue or start another one, Father? Cause I'm getting tired and famished. I think I am gonna go ahead and start up another one. I'm not. I might give me a little bit of grapefruit to try to tie me over. While I try to finish this up. Okay, cause I don't know. I might be led to read this entire chapter, and we got to go into the rest of this. Okay, and finish it up. All right. So on that note, shalom.